I'm Carlo Staudacher from Milan, Italy. I do not agree to perform a fight between two parties. And I have a question for everybody. We are old, advanced surgeons, and I should like to know what about our young surgeon, learning curve or not learning curve. Learning curve, I don't believe is a problem because of that. In my department in Milan, I perform about 90% of rectal colonic cancer by laparoscopic approach since a lot of years. And my young surgeon see only the laparoscopic approach, and they learn the laparoscopic approach. This is the reality for them. The future and the data that you show that there is no contraindication for the oncological reason in the laparoscopic approach. In stage 3, the survival, stage 3 in colonic cancer, the survival is significantly better than in open surgery. And I say that because the future for our pupils is the laparoscopy. My young surgeon, I think, do not know how to perform a rectal resection by open surgery. Is it a problem, or is it the future? Thank you.
Professor.
You say anything, Bella?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Okay. Thank you very much for your support. I just want to say something here that, you see, my good friend Bella said that he is talking on cons, although he's pro. I want to say a bit for the cons, although I'm talking on the pro, just to balance you up. You see, I think everything in life, we are talking about balance. You see, when we talk about technological advance, we mustn't forget our roots. Men, we were born walking. But when people invented a bicycle, they didn't stop walking, But when cars were invented, they didn't stop using the bicycle, right? And in fact, when we flew into space, we're still using cars. But there's a space and there's a time for everything, I believe. So just to answer our Milan professor, I think there has to be a place because for every technique, we need to preserve the technique. Because although we are advancing in laparoscopy and doing well in laparoscopy, some cases really cannot be done laparoscopically. And some cases that are done laparoscopically shouldn't be done, they are done open, shouldn't be done open. I mean, you can't walk from here to Singapore, you should, take the plane. But, you shouldn't drive from here to the building next door because that's wasting resources. So I think what we are talking about today is to try and find a common sense approach to a common disease, a disease that can be attacked in many ways, but what is best for the patient and what is best for the future of our specialty. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that comment, Professor. But as I pointed out, and thank you for your words, Francis, it's a very important point to give the students and the pupils our experience. My former boss used to say, do only laparoscopy in cholecystectomy and in colorectal cancer. If you are firm in open surgery, then when you have to convert, then you have to have good skills. And in cholecystectomy, the problem is when the younger have to convert, they don't complete the operation. They have to need an older one. That's in my institution. So you have an excellent institution, and you learn the youngest, the rectal and the colorectal surgery in 80 or in 90%, you're doing that. But in a small country, if you have a learning curve from 100 cases, then you have only few rectal cancer surgeons doing that honestly and very good. So we are, as Francis pointed out, in between. We have to give our experience, open or laparoscopy, to the youngers, and they have to succeed and even go further on for robotic or something like that in 10 years or 15 years, nobody knows. But in our countries in Europe, we have a large problem. In 20 years, our population will rise. In 20 years, we have 30% more colorectal cancers. And having said this, I would say the centralization of these cancer diseases should be done in your institution, in the universities, doing that daily in great numbers. And then it's feasible and safe in terms of lymph node harvesting. Not doing 2-3 cases a year, that's not enough. And you know, many surgeons doing that in every country, as I'm knowing that in Europe. But thank you very much. But this is the point we have to come through.
Okay. Thank you. Other question? Yes.
Just a remark. Now you see, Francis and Teleki, why I insisted on this session, pro and cons for laparoscopy, because the take-home message is the same message I got last November when I contacted a few leading persons in the area of laparoscopic colorectal cancer, and I asked them few questions. And the message that I took home was that concerning rectal cancer, everybody thinks something different from the other. So today, in June 2011, we don't have the final answer. If we speak about mucosal ulcerative colitis, the gold standard operation is total proctocolectomy with end ileostomy. The operation of choice is total proctocolectomy with J pouch, yeah, which started in 78 with John Nichols and gained popularity during the 90s. So think the same about laparoscopy versus open. The final answer we'll get, I think, in another 5 or 10 years. But concerning the professor from Milan Institute, laparoscopy is just another technique. And we have to look at that. It's another technique. But every resident should know also to do rectal cancer, colon cancer, under the open procedure. And that's the way we should act, I think, at least in the next 10 years. Thank you.
May I say one sentence? I'm 100% with you. But we shouldn't go home with a take-home message that everywhere and everyone should do, because it's now the unique method to do it laparoscopically. And everyone who's doing an open rectal cancer, as Bill Hield and his staff is doing, they are old-fashioned. I think it's another technique, and you have to look at the 5 or the 10 years results. So we are in a gap, as I told, and thank you very much what you said.
Okay, are there more questions? If not, I'd like to close this session. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your lunch.